When was the last time you walked into a room and forgot why you're there, or you misplaced your keys, or you're having a conversation with somebody, but you just can't get the word to come into your mouth? A lot of times we chalk this up to just one bad night's sleep or maybe a little bit of stress. But the reality is this is your body sending you a bit of a signal that, hey, something is not quite right. June is Alzheimer's Awareness Month. And as a family medicine doctor, one of the most important things that I can help my patients achieve is to help them prevent dementia, which is one of the most preventable conditions that we have. Most adults in their 30s and 40s view dementia as something that happens in your 70s, in your 60s, but the reality is it's one of those diseases where the fuse is lit way earlier, often in your 30s and 40s. It's when you're noticing things like energy crashes or sleeping poorly, waking up groggy, or even that stubborn weight. All of that is some sort of metabolic problem that is also translating to the brain. And when the brain is not getting the kind of oxygenation and the kind of nutrients that it needs over these next few decades, that's how Alzheimer's dementia can develop. As a health coach, my goal is to understand the underlying cause and not just put a Band-Aid on the problem. And usually in your 30s and 40s, it's the lack of sleep, it's not getting enough exercise, it's the ultra-processed food that's creating a bit of a metabolic problem, which means that the brain cells are noticing the energy, but they're not able to utilize it. It's like in an engine where the fuel lines are getting crimped. You're not getting fuel to the engine. It's the same problem with Alzheimer's dementia. When you're not getting the adequate fuels to the brain can't do what it's supposed to. So you end up crashing in the middle of the day, you end up losing words, and you feel super exhausted after a deep conversation with someone or after a long presentation at your job. This is the early symptoms of what we call mild cognitive impairment, or the early changes where the brain is starting to sort of sputter like the engine. I don't have any cookie cutter advice, but there are 3 things that are at the core of helping your brain regenerate and heal itself from any kind of trauma so that it becomes the kind of brain that is resilient into the future, avoiding things like dementia. I work individually with each person to determine what they are at the highest risk for, and we would come up with a very specific plan for them. In this video, I'm going to give you 3 things that I know are effective, and it's the tenet of everything that we do to prevent dementia. So number 1, it's the brain fuel. It's what you're feeding your brain on a daily basis. It starts in the morning when you first wake up. Avoiding things that are high in simple carbs or sugar is going to prevent your blood sugar from spiking, and that's going to keep your brain a lot more steady throughout the day. You can start it with a little bit of protein, with lots of fiber. Oatmeal has always been a great start for most of my clients. You can do eggs, and you can do lots of spinach and make an omelet. That's going to keep your blood sugar steady, and it's going to prevent you from crashing later in the day. Number 2, we need the brain to regenerate. The cells need to heal themselves. And this is especially necessary after a stressful conversation, or if you have busy meetings all throughout the week. The only time you can really do that is in your deep sleep. And to protect that deep sleep, you certainly have to spend enough time in bed, but especially 2 to 3 hours before going to bed, you need to avoid caffeine, a heavy meal, chocolate, alcohol, or even a lot of stress, because otherwise, those first few hours when you can get deep sleep, the deep sleep is going to get shortened, which means your brain can't actually repair. Number 3, we want to reset the brain every single day. If you engage in some really mentally taxing work, you want to take a break, go for a 15-minute walk, get some beautiful sunlight, read a book, meditate, breathe. Anything that feels restorative to you is going to help you reset, and the brain is going to be able to regenerate the cells. It's going to be able to function at the highest level possible. I left traditional family medicine because I was tired of managing Alzheimer's dementia. I was tired of giving medications to people who were already suffering and couldn't even dress themselves or handle their bank accounts. My intention now is to help people with a lot of agency who have high health literacy and believe that they can make an impact in their future, make the right daily decisions for themselves. Whether you do this with my deep dive membership or my 1-hour coaching call, you can go to drashori.com and there are lots of resources available to you to help you develop the kind of brain that's going to keep functioning and serving you well into the future. If this video was of value to you, please subscribe, hit the like button, and comment below. I would love to hear from you. Do you have a family member with dementia? Are you worried about dementia? And what is it that you're doing today to help you prevent dementia in the future?